In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to change the oil on your Crf230f and also to clean the internal oil filter. So here's the supplies you're going to need for your oil change. So we're going to need 2 quarts of 10W40 Valvoline oil. I prefer Valvoline just because the motorcycle oil is full synthetic, but there's many other brands that you can also use, as long as it's 10W40 weight and also full synthetic. You're also going to need a couple different size sockets. The actual drain plug is a 24 millimeter, so you might have to go out and buy one if you're going to do this like I did. And also, you're going to have a 10 and a 12 millimeter. These are to remove the skid plate. And here is the optional oil filter change or oil filter cleaning. So the oil filter on this bike is actually inside of the side cover. So I have a new gasket for the side cover, a razor blade to scrape off the old gasket, some brake parts cleaner, and also an 8 millimeter to remove the side cover. Down on the bottom of the bike, we're going to remove the skid plate. So we have a 10 millimeter bolt here, one here, and then we have a bigger 12 millimeter bolt that's going to be right here. So I just have this into a little impact drill so we can remove it a little bit faster. Just like that. On the bottom left side of the bike, here's the massive 24 millimeter bolt that Honda chose. This is actually the same bolt that is on the valve cover actually. So to remove this, I'm going to take a 24 millimeter socket and take it out. So you're going to need quite a bit of force to take this off, so I recommend holding it on tight. Okay, so once it's off, we can pretty much just do it by hand. So when you twist it off, there's going to be a spring and a small piece of screen. So you have to make sure that these also go back in the same place. So the oil start coming out. And also have a pan under it, of course. Alright, that's dirty. Alright, so upon removing the cap, you're going to see this. There's a small screen which comes out, which you should clean as well. This looks like this, and you're going to make sure that it goes back in the exact same way. Okay, so all the oil is drained out. One thing I should have said is you should have taken the dipstick out of the other side to release a little bit of air pressure. So we're going to put this in the exact same way it went in. Put the spring in the cap like this with the screen facing towards you. You're just going to put it right in and then begin screwing it in. It's a little bit tricky because it's kind of it has really short threads. So now here's where a torque wrench comes in handy. You don't exactly need a torque wrench every time, but this is just to get your exact measurement. So the Honda manual says that this drain plug should be tightened to 11 foot-pounds, so that's what I have it set to. So we'll give that a twist. There's 11 foot-pounds. So if you're just changing the oil and not cleaning the filter, I would skip ahead a little bit in this video. But right now, I'm going to be taking the side cover off and cleaning the oil filter before I add oil. Okay, so I have the bike leaned up over its side, as you can see. So the extra little bit of oil that's in there won't fall out. So in order to take this cover off, you're going to need to disconnect the clutch cable, which is right here. And also we're going to remove the brake pedal. So to remove the clutch cable, you simply just pull back on the clutch. I'll do it with a pair of pliers in a minute. But you twist this and remove the cable. And the brake pedal just has a little pin on the back, and then you slide it out. So now we're going to remove the 11 8mm bolts that hold the side cover on. So let's just start with these two on top because this is what the clutch cable is on. There's one. 2. And I'll speed up this process for you so it won't look as slow. So I'm guessing this is the first time this cover's been removed, so it's going to be pretty stuck on there. So what you're going to want to do is take a screwdriver or some type of flat piece of metal and just start hitting in the holes like that. There you go, it popped right off. And then you should actually just be able to pull it right off. There we go. So here we have the side cover removed. Here's going to be your clutch basket, your oil pump assembly, and this little doohickey right here is actually your filter. So inside here, it spins at a very rapid rate, so the crankshaft is directly right here. So this spins at the exact same speed as the crankshaft, and basically any oil particles, or pretty much any metal particles that are going to be in the oil, are going to be centrifugally slung to the end of this little basket. So we're just going to take a drill or any type of screwdriver you really want to, and just take all 3 of these little screws out. Shouldn't be too much of a problem. If I could get it on there. So yeah. So after taking the screws out, you just pop off the little cover. I don't know if you can see, but there's a lot of small little oil shavings and such wrapped around here. This entire thing right here, this little thick part, that is actually all buildup of crap that's in your engine. So I'm gonna take some brake cleaner and clean that all out. So with some brake cleaner, I'm gonna spray just a little bit on there. Take a paper towel and just wipe it all out. Look at all that. Lots and lots of metal buildup that's just stuck all in this thing. Look at all that. Oops. So I'm now going to begin the most tedious process of this, and that is scraping off the old gasket. Okay, so now we're going to start to reinstall our cover. So for this, you're going to need the replacement gasket, and optional, but probably the best thing to do is to use some gasket maker, some high-tip gasket maker. So what I'm going to do, this is a brand new bottle, so I'll poke a little hole in it. Okay, so I'm just going to take a little dab of this on my finger, a very small amount. I'm just going to put it all around the outside of the case. And now you have to make sure there is minimal to no old gasket left on here when you do this, just to get the best seal. And this also helps if you weren't able to get rid of all of the old gasket. This also helps to get rid of some of it to help the seal. Okay, so now when you took off your cover, there should be a little metal sleeve or just a small cylinder that fits directly in the bolt hole. So there should be one on this side, one on this side. So you're basically just going to take your gasket and make sure that it lines up exactly perfect with that. So these should just slide right over the holes, and then your gasket is in the correct place. It's going to take a little bit of shimmying to get it exactly where you want, but that's that. So now we're going to take our other side cover, which I also put a slight bit of gasket maker all over it. So we're just going to gently place that directly over there. Make sure it aligns perfectly with its little studs. Just like that. Let's push the gasket back into place a little bit. There we go. Now it's on. Okay, so when you're putting your bolts on, you're going to make sure you want to go in a zigzag pattern, or directly across from each other. So I have this one just barely snug down. Now I'm going to do the one directly across from it. Snug that one down. And as I go through, so let's do one on the bottom right here, and then I'll do one on the top. So you're just going to do that along the whole thing. These bolts were torqued to 9 foot-pounds. So now we're going to be using our oil. I'm going to put 1.1 quarts in this. Yeah, we might have to get. So we have our 1.1 quarts in the engine. As you can see, it reaches the end of the dipstick. So now we're going to start the engine up, let it idle for about 2 minutes, and check the dipstick. I just wanted to thank you all so much for watching this video. And also one thing I'd like to add, apparently my torque wrench was slightly defective, so I ended up over tightening a bolt and it just snapped right off, like without me even putting hardly any pressure on it. So I started it up and the bike started leaking all over the place, so I'm gonna have to tap out that bolt and put a new one in. But until then, I'll see you guys in the next video.